Even though you may have chosen your graph type based on the recommended charts, that doesn't mean you cannot change it further down the line. Particularly if you weren't using the recommended charts and you just used the keyboard shortcut, where you will always get the default chart type, which, until you change it, is the bar chart. So if you want to change the chart type, you can simply select your chart. From the Chart Tools Context Sensitive ribbon, we can then choose Design, and there's our option, Change Chart Type. One click opens up the Change Chart Type dialog box, and there are main groupings down the left. So we have column, line, pie, bar, area, XY scatter, stock, surface, radar, combo. And a combo actually allows you to mix each of these different chart types on the same graph. If we go back to column, which is the default chart type, even within column, there are then subcategories. So to start with, we have a clustered column. Then you have a stacked column, where all the values within a series are in the same column, but then the bars are mounted on top of each other dependent on their values. Or a 100% stacked column, where the bars always reach the top of the graph, but the size of the bar is effectively a percentage of the whole. And then we have a few 3D types, a 3D clustered, 3D stacked, 3D 100% stacked, and then 3D column, where each of the series and categories are laid out separately. And I certainly quite like those for a graphical appeal anyway. Now within line, we have subcategories as well. We've got a stacked line, 100% stacked line, line with markers. The pie has subcategories. Now the pie is slightly different, and we do look at this as a special case because it can only graph a single series at a time. The bar, which is effectively the same as a column, but they come out from the left instead of from the bottom axes. But you have the same options, clustered, stacked, 100% stacked. Area, where your data is filled in effectively to create an area graph. You can see that as a stacked option, 100% stacked area. XY scatter doesn't quite work with our data. Stock definitely doesn't work with our data. Surface graph, 3D surface. Wireframe 3D surface. Contoured, wireframe contour. So many choices, it's unbelievable. The radar one has different options, radar with markers, filled radar. And then the combo allows you to mix all of those together. So you can choose a different type of graph for each series. So cars sold currently is a clustered column. I could make that a bar, and plain sold could remain as a column. So you can see they come up from the bottom, the cars come out from the left, and then the bikes are currently a line. So that's that line there. Well, we could make those, let's say, an area, and the graph just looks completely messy, but it is an option. And sometimes you may want to mix and match. You may only want to change one of the data to a line as opposed to a bar, just to make it stand out on your graph. Now, when you want to change the chart type, you simply go through all the various options, find the one that suits you. So I'm going to change this to a 3D stacked bar. I quite like the more colourful option there, and then OK, and that is then applied to your chart. So that's manipulating, changing the chart type once the chart is in existence. And that will apply to a chart as an object on a sheet as we have here, or as a full chart sheet. So we did that before by taking our data, F11, and you'll see it now fills the whole sheet. It has a sheet of its own effectively, and change chart type takes you into exactly the same place, exactly the same choices. You make your decision, then click OK. Let's go for an area one this time. OK, and the changes are then applied to your chart.